Hey guys, welcome to another Friday night. Going to talk about a bunch of things today. Kind of mumble around here at the beginning, wait for a lot of people to come on, and then basically talk about, for one, if you're watching this video, because I know a lot of you guys don't watch it as it goes, you kind of come in later on and kind of will jump on it. But make sure you share, because I'm not that guy that's going to tag a lot of people. So let me turn that down. That's my laptop. I'm not that guy that's going to tag a lot of people whenever I'm putting out things like this. You want to watch it, that's fine. What I want to do here on every Friday is I want to educate the way that I was taught years ago about bats and how we do our reviews. But what I want you to do in the beginning right here, we've already got 12 people showing up right now. What I want to do at the beginning is share, like, whatever, share it with your friends, because basically, what I want to do with this, not only talk about bats, but talk about nutrition at the beginning. Not too much about working out. I do a lot of that on my YouTube channel, on my membership. And guys, if you're watching this, go over to YouTube and subscribe. Just subscribe. You don't have to join the membership if you want to. I got a lot more things. I probably talk about 25%, like on these right here, I probably talk about 25% of what I really want to talk about. And then on my membership channel, I usually talk about a lot of stuff that's controversial. I talk about, I go in deep when I'm talking about bats. What I want to tell you guys is, there's been some questions come up about, bats and bats cracking, and you guys have cracked some bats, and I'm not calling you out. I'm not saying anything. You probably have, but we're not getting a lot of bats that are cracking. And because when you go to my behind the scenes videos, and I put those out for everybody, I just cut out a little bit of too much of the cursing or, things that were said. Guys getting on each other, things like that. But I cut out a little bit from that, but you can gain so much. I know they're long, hour and a half average, hour and 15 minutes average, but still, I don't want to cut them up that much. And I want you guys to watch us swing it. We're cracking a bat. You're going to see us crack a bat. I'm going to call it out. We just cracked on the Dudleys. You can see us on video cracking those. Now, here's another thing too, guys. Those videos are not released till about 3 weeks after I did the review on that, because we're talking about the bat. So the review will come out, and then about 3 weeks later, or right after that, what will happen is I'll put the behind the scenes out. You can hear us talking about our swings. You can hear us talking about way in front. You can hear us. It's just not about bats. Let me answer some questions that I got, and they're pretty good questions, and I wanted to answer them. First, let me thank, we are pitch safe. I've been using pitch safe pitching screens for years, guys, and we have not had any trouble. We'd actually had to replace some of the bars on it, because guys that hit up the middle will bend them bars, and then the netting, we'll replace the netting on it. And Maven, guys, Maven glove balm, and you guys are gonna say what I need it for, but catchers always need soft gloves. Oh man, a lot of you guys were asking today about the guys that see behind the scenes. So what they're gonna do on behind the scenes, they're not gonna see us swinging old bats that we did reviews on. And they said, why don't you compare this bat to that bat? Well, we really can't do a comparison. Let me give you a prime example. If we compared, well, that's a hard barrel. If we compared, we just got through hitting this bat, right? So all of a sudden, we're gonna bring this bat in later, and we're gonna compare it. Well, this bat will always beat this bat, right? The reason is because we've been hitting this bat, and I preached this for years, guys. That's how come I don't do comparison. I don't throw bats out there and compare against each other, because I swing this bat better than I swing this one. You know, Trey swings this one better than he swings that one. Because when we've been swinging this bat for a long time, right? And I've been swinging this one for a long time, one bat's going to beat the other one because we're used to swinging this bat. And this bat is loaded different than this bat. So you can't do comparison unless you've been swinging both these bats for at least 2 to 3 weeks. And you're going back and forth. Give you a prime example is the question I got today was about the Onyx orange inload. Now that's the worst one you can pick on comparing to anything because we're working on these bats right now. So you're taking a 9.92 on the hands and you're comparing it, you're swinging this bat, right? So you're comparing this bat to the Onyx. That Onyx has a 7, high 7s on the hands. So you can't compare the two. You're gonna swing them differently. It's gonna take you a while. And another thing too is we're hitting on a baseball field. We're backing up behind the plate. I Google Earthed it. It's 300 and little over, it's about 322 feet to the bottom of the fence in left field. So you got to hit it about 330. I'm saying hit it over the trees. It's 335, 340, you know, and then the way our field is it goes out really quick. So it goes 340 to the bottom of the fence. Okay. All the way around 360, 380 to center. So we've been hitting here for 14 years, as long as I've been doing this. So when our guys hit a bat and they've hit this bat, and I already know, I can remember us hitting that Onyx, right? So I do compare it to other bats that I've already known or already have on video. You know what I mean? So it's just so hard for anybody, just not me, but anybody to compare one bat to another because of the swinging weight. I may like a big end load, you know. A couple of guys on my team like a really big end load because they're the younger guy. They're the younger guys, so they got that 100-mile-an-hour bat speed. So they like that big mass on the end, they're going to get performance. But if I give them a bat and they just got their swing in the Onyx, I give them another bat, it's not, they got to get used to it. They got to get used to it. And guys, it just doesn't take, okay, that going right into that, like it doesn't take like a week. It doesn't take, you know, a week. And that's how come my reviews take so long, because we've got to hit it and hit it and hit it. I get bats that I can finish a review in one day. And I've said this on the review. I can finish it in one day because it already gets that performance. The reason I don't put reviews out that I've had bats for about 3 weeks is because we're still hitting them. We're giving them that chance. And I talked about this last week. When you guys pick up bats and then all of a sudden I'm looking and you're selling them and it got 50 swings on it, you're not giving that bat a chance. You're not letting that bat, because it's one of my top tier bats. It was actually this bat right here, the Johnny Bailey, and somebody was swinging it and they only gave it 50 swings. That bat, this bat right here sounds like shit. Sounds like shit at 50 swings. 100 swings, it just blew up. It opened up really nice and it blew up. You're not giving that bat a chance. Then here's another thing too. You're talking about, well, I don't like to swing. Pick a top tier bat. Pick one of my top, you know, find out what your bat speed is. You know, if it's a slower bat speed, go with a softer barrel. You know, if you got that upper bat speed, you 40-year-old guys out there, and I don't know if a lot of 40-year-old guys watch this, but you 40-year-old guys watch it, you got that bat speed up there, go to my top, you know, my hard barrel ones. Pick a top 10 out of there, get used to swinging it. Try to pick, you know, within the top 5 and get used to swinging that bat, and that bat will perform. It might take a month, and that's hitting twice a week for you to get used to the swinging weight of that bat. The fields that we play on, guys, they're baseball fields. We've been hitting there for a long time. I love doing the reviews there. The problem that I have is we have a couple of guys that actually get pissed when they don't hit it out. So Clem, so when he's hitting and he's saying, damn, like damn. And the ball's, you know, you can hear the ball hit the fence. You know, you can hear the ball hit the bottom. And then I'm going, Clem, you can't do that, because people watching, you know, are saying, well, that bat sucks because he didn't even hit it out. But no, he's hitting at 340 and going, damn, because he wants to hit him over the trees. You know, got another guy that does the same thing too. Another thing about my guys too, and I want to say this, and they're all going to agree with me on this, is we are bat whores. And, and let me explain. I've always been a bat whore. the next best thing that comes by, I grab that one. I'm not loyal to any bat company. We have 8 guys, 7 of our guys are not, they're bat whores. In other words, the next good looking thing, the next high performance thing comes by, they're jumping on the bandwagon on that one. They're gonna ride it until the next one comes by. They say, oh shit, look at this one, that might be my gamer. And they hit it real good. So that's what you call a bat whore. They got a ton of bats. What's up, Chino? They got a ton of bats and they got them in, most of my guys are. We had one guy that was a bat whore, but he kind of got in a relationship. And Mike Chino will know who I'm talking about. And he's kind of settling down. So I gotta tell him, hey, we cannot be that guy. We can't be biased toward, you know, a bat company and then try to push them. So most of my guys, I have one that I'm talking to, you know, that most of my guys are bat whores. I mean, they're not hoarders. I got 2 of them that are hoarders, Chino being one of them. But he likes bats. Chino likes bats. So Chino will trade me out bats and he'll take one home. Or if I have some left over, and I'll ask Chino or some of the other guys if they want to take them home. I have a lot of people asking me about bats. What do I do with them when I get done? The top tier bats, the top 5 bats, what happens to those, or they're done, they're gone. My guys will kind of talk about them and they'll want them, and if they hit them good, they'll take them home. The rest of the bats that I have left over, I pick out what I want, will be my gamer. I do not take bats home with me. I do take bats for my wife that I think are softer barrels that she can swing. On you ladies out there, and you talk about that later, on softer barrels that you want to swing, that they want to swing, I'll take those home and then I'll put them in her closet. So she's probably got 2 in there that are really good bats that we have broke in for her, you know, because I talked about that in the past video too, about the ladies out there and either need to get somebody to break bats in for them or get them rode, you know, that way they're not getting behind, because it just takes so long for a woman to break a bat in. And I would suggest they either get a guy to break it in for them, you know, go out there, turn it in their hands and swing it, because it's just so hard to get their bat speed up, you know. And that's why I said this in the past too about balanced bats. It's just so hard to break in a balanced bat, guys, because you don't have that big mass on the end. And I'm gonna try to run through a lot of this stuff too, and you guys can go back and look. Let me explain to you about, and this is mainly my educational part of the beginning of the video. And I'm not gonna sit here and go into it deeply. I'm just gonna tell you what my thought process on it is. I talk about weight distribution, and I have been for 14 years now. How a bat's weighted. If you have bats that are, I'm gonna show you guys right here. All right, I've got 3 bats right here. All of these 3 bats, and they're all protons. All of these 3 bats are weighted different. They have the same shell, right? All the shell is the same. They're just weighted different. So what you're gonna have is, if you have more weight on the hands of this bat, and you have like a ½ ounce end load on this bat, and you got a 1 ounce end load on this bat will outperform this bat will outperform this bat, and both of them will outperform the balanced bat, because you got too much hand weight. So when I talk about balance point, that balance point will go up and down depending on your hand weight and your end weight. Billy Blake did, Bubba. Billy Blake did. So you got weight distribution in the bat, and what you have here is you got 3 different, not different bats, but the same bats with the same shell. And anytime you move that weight up and down, depends on the performance. So what a lot of guys will do out there, a lot of bat companies will do is, if let's say you did a run of bats and those bats started to crack, what they'll do on the next batch or 2 is they'll add about ½ ounce to the hands. That takes less pressure off the barrel. So the bats will last at least 150, 200 swings. For my guess, I would guess about 200 swings more if you add a ½ ounce to the hands. So they're getting a little bit more durability, but what happens there is the performance goes down a little bit. So that's one thing I wanted to talk to you. I don't want to get into it about that because I'll be here for days talking about weight distribution. So that's how come when I talk about balance points, I like talking about balance points, and I know a lot of you guys, it took a while to actually get you to go to the other side, call it the dark side, go to that other side and talk about, and it's actually catching on, you know, because balanced fat, guys, if you have the same shell, balanced fat will never outperform a half ounce end load or a full ounce end load or a 3/4 ounce end load. Never outperform it. More control though. That's another thing too. A little bit more control on that, you know, on that balance than you would on that end load. So a lot of you younger guys can actually handle it. When you get into the ages of 60, 65 with that diminishing bat speed, a lot of those guys want back control. So they'll go to a balanced bat. Softer barrel, I would prefer you guys go to too, because you're gonna have diminishing bat speed. And guys, I want to talk about a couple of things here. One of them is water. It's been hot here in San Antonio, and you guys need a lot of water. The one thing that I talked about in a video years ago was about, one thing talked about a long time ago was about what kind of water you guys are consuming. We live in Texas, so I'm gonna tell you about Texas. All my Texas guys out there, listen to this. HEB, guys, HEB right there has the best water because of the pH levels. Tested water at HEB against any water big company out there except for Fuji. Fuji has really good pH levels, which are up around 7. HEB has up around 7. The other ones have like 5 average, up around 5 pH. Our body's 7, guys. So you guys can get this. I got a mix in there of aminos and electrolytes and stuff. But HEB water here in Texas. Another thing too, when you buy that water, get it in the house as fast as you can, and get it in the house as fast as you can, and don't leave it in the back of your truck. Don't let sunlight hit that water, because what it does to the plastic that's around there. You guys can actually look up this, but don't let your water get up above 90 degrees because it messes it all up. I get it in the house as soon as I can. When I'm going out of town to play tournaments, I'll keep the water I don't keep it in the back of the truck either, guys. I usually put it in the back seat, but I'll keep it iced the whole time that I'm there. And really important, another thing too, if you guys go out and buy vitamins or supplements, do not leave them in your truck. Do not leave them in your car. Do not let them give above, I would say 90 degrees, because it deteriorates everything in there. You know, if you guys are out buying vitamins, or if you guys got prescriptions, do not leave them in the car when you have that high heat, especially here in Texas. It's just gonna waste them. They're all wasted if you do. The way I think about that stuff right there. And talk about some supplements. Not gonna go into all of them because I got a lot to talk about when I come about bats. Magnesium. Magnesium, guys, you guys need to, where is it at? Glycinate. This is the one that I actually take. I know it's backwards, guys, but it's the only magnesium with a G. So just, it's glycinate. And guys, get you some of that. One thing about magnesium, a lot of guys would take it and it would upset their stomach and, you know, give them the what's for it. Well, this one is very quick to absorb. It doesn't wait to get into your stomach to get your intestines. So the side effects for this one is very minimal. So everybody out there, and I talked about vitamin B1 last week. Omega-3 fish oils too. A lot of you guys, man, I'm talking about arthritis. I'm talking about things that anti-inflammatories actually is what I like taking a lot of this stuff for. Omega-3 fish oils, and I think every senior over the age of 50 needs to take some kind of digestive enzymes. That's it right there. When you eat, right before you eat, take them with you and take them before you eat. Guys, we do not digest food like we did in the old days. Another couple things, 2 more things I want to talk about when it comes to that. One of them is the sugar. I'd like a lot of you guys out there to quit consuming sugar. I mean, especially if you're overweight, okay? Sugar would be the first thing that I would drop. The second thing would be carbs. Cut your carb intake down to like almost zero. You're gonna get some carbs, get it from your fruits and vegetables. I'm not really a big fruit guy. That's another thing too. I consume very little fruit because in my opinion, sugar's sugar. And there's corn syrup, there's all this fructose and bullshit. Sugar's sugar. Cut it all out. Just cut it all out. You guys want to get in shape. You guys want to feel better. Cut out your sugars and your carbs. Another thing too, artificial sweeteners. If you guys are drinking any kind of thing that says diet on it, guys, you're killing yourself. You're just flat out killing yourself. That shit is bad for you. The alternative that I would go to, and it's right here, this is it. It's called it's stevia. That's it right there, and it's from the leaf. And guys, if you get the organic one, it's a little bit better, but still, get this stuff, add it into everything. I drink tea here, and I drink tea here in Texas, and I mix stevia in with my coffee in the mornings, and I mix it in with all of my stuff that I need. I just made spaghetti tonight, and I do mix sugar in my spaghetti. Yes, I do. I know a lot of you people out there going screaming right now, but yes, I do mix it in my spaghetti, and I used stevia. One thing I will say about a lot, if you guys, I would recommend this, and I've had it done for me. I would recommend this to a lot of people out there, you know, you younger kids maybe. I know it's hard to convince a lot of guys to go to the doctor and actually do this, but DNA testing for what is, what you can have that you don't know about and how you can change. To give you a prime example, I have my wife's cousin, his name's Keith, and his mother passed away from cancer. So there's a cancer gene, guys, there's a cancer gene. So he went and got tested and found out he has the cancer gene, and he did it years ago. So what he did at an early age, and it affected her a lot earlier than it affected him, but what he did at a younger age is he actually started eating better and watching his health at an early age because, you know, he wanted to live longer. So I recommend if you guys can get this done, get your DNA tested for if you have any kind of disease that you might have, an onset that might come in later, that you would know about. You could prepare for it now. And this is shit that at 63 years old that I never thought about, because I ate the shitty foods when I was younger and I ate bad. So I recommend a lot of you guys out there to get, if you want to get it done, get it done. It's nothing, it's just some extra added stuff out there that I got done, and find out what my family history basically, because a lot of people, like my dad, you know, passed away at a young age. He was an alcoholic. He passed away at a young age. And then my mom is 83. She's lived with, she smoked since she was 14 years old, and there's nothing wrong with her. So she's still like, when you hear the door opening every once in a while, that's my mom going outside to smoke, because we don't let her smoke in the house because we don't smoke. But yeah, she goes outside, she'll smoke, and he comes back in, and she's 83, just turned 83 in July. And she's great health for an 83-year-old woman. Drives, you know, talks, you know, writes. I mean, she's really good. Got her mind still with her. Creatine. This is the creatine that I take. It's that 5%. The reason I take it because it has a lot of creatines in it. But one thing, creatine monohydrate is probably the best creatine out there. What?
I'm 85.
My mom just came in and corrected me. What did I say?
83.
83. She just corrected me. She's 85. Are you watching?
Yes, I'm watching.
Okay, she's 85. I'm proud of it. Creatine. Creatine. This is the kind that I take. Now, it has an artificial sweetener in it, you know, and I know because it has that artificial sweetener, and it's actually Splenda. And Splenda is really bad for you because what Splenda does to your gut is actually kill the good bacteria in your gut. So you actually got to take a probiotic. So what I do if I take this, you know, because Splenda, it kills the good bacteria in your gut. So I'll take probiotics every night before I go to bed on an empty stomach. You don't take probiotics on a full stomach because your acid in your stomach will eat most of it up before it gets to where it's supposed to be. Talk about shaving bats. See how far I am into this. Talk about shaving bats, and I've always brought this up. And the reason I will bring it up because I think it's a big problem around seniors. I think it's a big problem in the kids when they come up from 39 to 40 and they bring it in and they don't stop because they're not going to stop, guys, unless they get caught because they have that, I want to say little man syndrome because I talked about this in another Facebook Live I talked about this in another Facebook Live about, it's something, what's going to happen is it's something that they can achieve and distance-wise, and if they go back to a regular senior bat, if they have one game that they're not achieving that distance, they'll go back to it. It's almost like the addiction part. It's an addiction, right? Because a lot of people, steroids are not addictive. You can't get addicted to steroids, but you can if you have that, because when you do steroids, you get huge. That's the addicting part in steroids. So you'll get big, you walk around, people look at you. So what you do when you get off of steroids, you're not that big anymore. So people don't look at you anymore. People kind of blow you off, don't sit there and stare at you, right? So that's the addiction. They want that. They want that draw. They want that look, right? So when it comes to shaving senior bats, they have that distance, right? They got 350 feet, you know, that 400 foot, they have that, right? So when you get up there and hit one about 305, and people in the stands are going, okay, that's not shit anymore. Because nowadays, you know, back in the day it was. Back 40 years ago, that was a freaking shot. But nowadays, they expect that from you because composite bats, I actually think composite bats ruined softball. That's just me. I swing them though, but I actually think composite bats ruin softball. But shaving bats are here to stay. I can bitch and moan about it every week, but there's nothing unless not just one bat manufacturer. It's got to be a few bat manufacturers start changing the way they make bats. But then again, there'll be that guy out there. There'll be that guy out there that comes up with a method on how to do it again, right? Because he wants to make the money. He's making $170,000 a year off your ass, you know. So what does he want to do? Oh shit, he's not going to give up $170,000 a year. So what he's going to do is start finding out a way to beat the system, and he will find out a way to beat the system. Just got to keep on it. Just got to keep on it. I want to talk about this, and I didn't talk about this for a while. And if you guys have been a part of what I do here, is umpires. I do not. I have guys that are friends of mine that are umpires, and I respect them for what they do, and they are very good at it. I have no respect for the people out there that umpire that don't give a shit. And they're out there to collect a paycheck, that are out there to look at me. I'm the one that made that call, you know. Look at me, very talking to the people in the stands, talking to the other dugout. Like, hey, you're gonna go have dinner with them or something, you know. It just chaps my ass. And I've seen it, I've videotaped it. I've seen umpires be total fucking assholes. But then again, I've seen some very good umpires out there. And I'm not saying, like I said, guys, I'm not saying all of you guys out there that umpire are assholes. I'm not saying that. There are those guys that make you guys look like shit, you know. And I've been a part of it, you know. I've been singled out whenever I played Major Plus because I did put out the videos ripping umpires' ass. So what I did was I put out a video, and I could go talk about that another time, about the videos that I put out, and actually questioning, because umpires didn't know the rules, and they were simple rules that I knew. you know, and you get an umpire out there, didn't know arc limit, you know, didn't know he could juke. You know, we had a guy out there juking or jumping, you know, and basically you can't do anything to deceive the batter. You know, I was bitching at one umpire and he goes, does that deceive you? And I said, what do you mean talking about? Does that bother? He goes, well, I said, does it bother you? Because you're the one making the call. You know, he can't do that. It's like ASA. You can't juke. You can't move. You can't pull your glove. You can't throw your glove, you know. A lot of guys don't know that and let them get away with it. And I know you guys are going to say, it's just softball, Dave. I'm going to say, come on now, guys. The rule's a freaking rule. But there are some very good umpires out of San Antonio that do a lot of umpiring that I really do respect. It's not you guys I'm talking about. It's the guys that are out there to collect that paycheck or out there to get that notoriety, looking in the stands, talking to girls and shit. You know, those guys chap my ass. The guy that would call an out, and this happened, right? And my dumb ass turned the camera off. It's on video. You can see it. This team's fighting man cave. And you guys are out there, not the man cave from now, the man cave from like 5-6 years ago. Man cave was out there, and they're fighting to come back. Their home team, they're down by 1. Tying runs at third, I think is what it was. Tying runs at third, winning runs at second, and 2 outs. Left-hander stepped on the line, and when he torqued, his foot came off the line. So he was that far off. Umpire called him out, ball game, walked off. I was cursing him from when he started, when he walked out. I cursed him so much, Mike Masinko came down and talked to me about it. You know, what happened, Dave? I said, when have you had, and we're talking about, this is for third place. If they win, they go against the championship. Who does that call? Who makes that call? Unless you want everybody to look at you, you know, look at me, look at me. I think this is, okay, fuck that. I've already talked about that, right? I've already bitched and moaned about that. What's the problem? What's the problem? You have quality umpires that are just sitting there. You're not paying them enough, right? This is just me. I don't think you're paying them enough. So what happens when you don't pay enough, you get shitty umpires, right? Because they're just out there to make shit. We had an umpire 3 months ago that didn't even want to be there. And bitching and moaning about him being there. I wasn't even supposed to be in this tournament. Okay, we're gonna have fun today then, because this cat's here. But, and I know you can't go to the umpires. You got to go to the source, right? Because you don't pay these guys enough damn money. So what happens is you get shitty people. You know, go to a restaurant nowadays. Today, go to a restaurant and look at your service that you get. Nobody wants to work now, and I'm going to go on a totally different area, but because you don't pay those people enough to do that job, so you get shitty service. I mean, same thing with umpires. I really don't think they're making enough money, and then you have one, you don't have two. Shit. Johnny Bailey, there was a team playing against him. And you guys know who I'm talking about. And I got it on video. You know, a ball hit down right side, tying run, 1 out, tying run, runs to second, runs over the first baseman that wasn't even looking, hits the ground, the second base umpire sticks his hand out, he goes second base, they threw him out. And he's going, no, ran into this guy. They overturned the call. The umpire behind the plate overturned the call. Now that's the tying run. Their home team. It was Johnny Bailey's team. That was that major plus team. Remember that shit from a few years ago? That was that team. And I'm sitting there going, you gotta be kidding me. He changed that call to that guy. The second base umpire, right, changed that call because the guy at home took his hand out. He was looking at the ball. He's looking at the play going to second base. He wasn't looking at what happened. And the guy never saw it. I have it on video. The guy never saw it. It happened behind him. Second base umpire overturned it. You got an out, 2 outs, right? 2 outs. And this is a championship game. He made that call. So those are the guys that are sitting going, now what's going on here, man? They just don't like that team. And you remember that year, they didn't like those guys from California. You know, they didn't like those guys from California. So that's the problem that I have with umpires. I mean, I'm going to get off the bandwagon because I'll probably get labeled here pretty quick. I've had umpires when I'm videotaping go up to the tournament director and say, I need him out of here. I've had umpires do that too. I've had tournament directors kick my camera to the side because they know who I am and they don't want me videotaping the shit. So they'll kick my camera. I still put the video up, you know, and then I'll say, umpire, kick my camera. I had to tell an umpire, get away from my camera. Not an umpire, but a tournament director. Get away from my camera. Don't touch my camera. You know, I didn't touch anything. Yeah, you did. Yeah, you did. My marker. Guys, get back into doing reviews. Got to check my time. Get back into doing reviews. It takes a long time for us to do reviews. And the reason is because I have one bat right now that it's taken 3 weeks to do because I'm not giving up on it. And I keep hearing these good things about it. So I'm not giving up on it. I'm actually not giving up on it. And I want to give it a chance. I think a lot of people out there don't give these bats a chance to actually open up. Some bats I've had opened up at 400 swings, you know, and a lot of people aren't going to put 400 swings on it. I just so happen to have the guys to put 400 swings on that bat. If you notice lately, I haven't been taking those practice because what happens is at our first round are hit with spinners. And what I will do is I'll let the kids hit them to break those bats in. And usually if we have a brand new bat, it starts at the beginning. You know, we have 4 different rounds. My first round is doing nothing but spinners and we break our bats in. I don't do that. I don't try to break bats in. I'm too old. I'm wore out, man. So I'll come in about the second or third round and I'll start picking up those bats and swinging to see what I think about them and see what kind of, because I get input from my whore guys. They'll give me input, you know, about what they think about the bat. And then I'll come in later on and then I'll start swinging them and I'll say, yeah, you're right. I feel that. Or I'll tell them, did you feel this? Did you feel it changed sounds on you? The only way you can really see what we do is when it's behind the scenes, the cutting room floor stuff that I put out there. That's the only way that you're actually going to actually get in. You're gonna see or hear us talk, or I actually say, whenever I put up those, because you're on Facebook, I put up those pictures and go on Facebook, you know, and I'm saying working today. Well, that's us working 2.5 hours, 3 hours. Sometimes when somebody comes in from out of town, like they did the other day, it's a 3.5 hour, 4 hour hitting in the morning. We start at 7 o'clock. You know, don't want our bats being hot, don't want the balls being hot. We start at 7 o'clock and we get done, it's 95 degrees, and it's usually, you know, 10:30, roughly around. Then we go have breakfast. I don't know if you guys know this or not, but my third great grandfather died defending the Alamo. I've been in San Antonio. My family's been in San Antonio for hundreds of years. I have, on the Native American part, I have family that's been here forever, right? Lapan Apache. Now, I did not know this, and he's probably watching. Mark Reeves, and we were talking about this the other day. Mark Reeves, my third great grandfather died. His last name is Losoya, and defending the Alamo. He was Tejano. Mark Reeves, the guy that hits with us and hits balls with us, his fifth great grandfather died defending the Alamo. He was the oldest person to fall at the Alamo. And I didn't know this till we started talking about it. And he was like, damn, you know, I didn't know that. So that's something we're both together hitting. We've known each other for 17, 18, well, maybe 20 something years, no, longer than that, 25 years. We've known each other and we never knew that, you know, never really talked about it. That's pretty neat that you have two guys with the same passion, you know, and we play the same sport, and didn't know till recently that we have grandfathers that died defending the Alamo. That was pretty neat when he talked to me about it. I thought I'd pass that on. I still can't find mine. DeMarini. Start talking about bats now because I don't want to get too late. DeMarini bats. I did not know, with the Suncoast, I did not know that DeMarini was still making the Larry Carter and those bats, you know, the Paul Sadler. And I took those down, and I think I took them down. But I thought Larry Carter had a great soft barrel bat. I think that bat got soft later on, and I think that I'm gonna grab it again, and I'm gonna see where it ranks again in that soft barrel side. So I'm gonna get me a Larry Carter. I'm gonna get me a Paul Sadler, because I think he's down out of there too, and he shouldn't be, because I actually think I thought they came out with a new DeMarini a couple years ago, and they did not, and they're still running with it. And Paul Sadler, I've seen him come on a while ago. Paul Sadler actually talked to me on the phone the other day and was telling me that no, they're going to stay with the same thing because they have a good product. They do have a good product, but I already took it down before I took that phone call from him, and there it is. And I'm going to start redoing those again because I am getting at the end. You guys are going to see here in a minute. I'm getting at the end of a lot of the reviews, and it's that time of year, and I'm getting at the end of what I have. What's going to happen in the next couple of months is everybody wants to get ready for Vegas. So I'm going to get a crap ton of bats coming in that people want to get the word out, because this is, people want to get the word out that they're coming up with a bat. They're coming up with a bat in the world, and they want that platform, right? Problem is, I don't do that. I wait till I get the bats here. You know, they talk to me about getting bats in, but I wait till I get them here and I got them in my hands, and I can talk about them. You know, I have some bats going to be delivered, but I don't know when they're going to come in. You know, but I don't want to sit there and talk about them because I don't have the bats with me. You know, so I usually don't do that unless I have the product right here in front of me. So what I can talk about is only what I got here now. So I think we're going to slow down this month and then next month after that, because I will be in Worlds in Vegas when the 55s and 60s play. I am not playing with anybody. I don't think my team's going. And what I will do is I'll just go up there, and if I don't find a team to play on, what I'll do is I'll just go up there and I'll just videotape, and I want to run a bunch of podcasts. There's a bunch of people, Larry Carter being one of them, and I hope he's there. One of them that I'm going to talk to and do podcasts. I want to try to do 2 a day. I might do some at the field and talk to a lot of the guys that actually are out there. Kirby Murphy is one of them, and I hope Benjamin is actually going to join him, because me and Benjamin were teammates at one time. I want to see where I'm at. Guys, I was watching a podcast from Joe Rogan the other day, and I heard him trash on chiropractors. I love chiropractors. I have mine. He's a big guy, ex-football player. And he's been doing this. His dad's been doing this. His dad did it first for me 23 years ago. And then now his son does it for me because his dad's shoulders gave out on him from doing it for so many years. And I go see him. Chiropractor has gotten me out of a back surgery, a neck surgery. And I go in there when I have things that just need adjustment, because as we get older, our vertebrae in our back compress, and I get it going there, and I call it decompressing the vertebrae, and they do help me. You know, I know a lot of people, I think it depends on the chiropractor on that you're going to. I think he needs to hurt you, not really hurt you, but I think he needs to get in there and pop some shit, because when I first started doing it, that's what happened, you know, breaking scar tissue away, basically. I think a lot of guys out there, Chino from Puro Pero, had a chiropractor on there, and I kind of chimed in a little bit, and I told Chino about this guy knows his shit. He knows what he's talking about. I had injections in my back. My back is getting better, but I still feel that little weakness in the lower part of my back, and I'm still going to the chiropractor, because that chiropractor that Chino had on his talk show the other day talked about, you get the injections, get the inflammation out of there, but you got to get rid of the scar tissue. You got to start popping it and moving it, because what's going to happen is everything gets locked up in there. So you got to move it, you got to pop it, because I do believe that we need to be aligned. So I get pissed, or I not pissed, but I get like, these guys, Joe Rogan was talking about, he thinks they're quacks and shit. And I really don't. I think they help me, and I think they can help you, especially, you know, when you're trying to fight that operation table. And I do it all the time, guys, and I'm getting older. You know, I've got a vertebrae in my back, my lower back, that has worn down from hitting so much, that it's worn down. He thought it broke off, and he was looking for it in the MRI and couldn't find it. He thought the bone had broke. But what happened was, when it's torquing for so many years, it tends to wear down. And that's what I have in my lower back. And I asked him, well, am I going to need surgery? And he's like, no, let's try to Let's try to do pain meds, not pain meds, but the injections, and then chiropractic. And we can keep you out because already my right knee, they told me on my right knee, they've been doing injections on my right knee and I torn meniscus. Guys, my right knee is healed on my torn meniscus and I didn't have to go get it cut on. Torn meniscus is the hardest injury to heal in your knee. Depending on where the tear is, you guys know this, they have knee trouble. Depending on where the tear is on that meniscus, it depends on how bad it is too. Well, mine was on the inside. And it hurt, guys. I wore a brace, but I got the injections, I got the rooster cone, and that happened to work with me. I also injected BPC 157, which is a peptide. I'll talk about that on my membership channel. BPC 157 and TB 500, I think it is. TB 500. Those are peptides that you get on the internet. And I injected it into the area, and it's actually helped me. I mean, you can see I'm swinging on it. I'm not favoring it. And I did a torn meniscus. I talked about it in the past. Just little things. On my membership channel, if you guys are on my membership channel, I have a drawing tomorrow for you guys. I'm giving away a bat. This one right here. It's a wig popper, 26 ounce, on my membership channel. If you guys want to join that when you go over to, going over to YouTube, you know, click the join button, look at what I have to offer. If you want to join it, fine. It's not. What I do want you guys to do, and I've got 37 guys on right now, is join that channel because I talk about a lot of things on that channel. Join, be a subscriber, not join the channel, but be a subscriber. If you want to join the channel, that's fine. It's just extra added stuff. I talk about BPC 157. I talk about a bunch of other stuff that would be benefit on you guys to actually keep you off the table. Keep you guys from getting, some days I'm gonna have to have my right knee replaced. So what I want you guys to do is try to fight that father time, you know, that keeps on pounding on that door every day. The one thing I'm trying to get you guys to do is get off your ass, get off the, you know, pick up some weight. I don't care what kind of weight it is, just pick up some weight, get out there and start doing it. Starting is the hardest part. It takes 21 days to create a habit, guys. 21 days to create a habit. Someone was talking the other day. I'm trying to look at what I want to go through first because I'm not going to get through this other page. Someone was talking the other day about balls. And here's the deal. They were talking about the Biden balls, the fire ones that we hit at Worlds. That's actually not a bad ball, but when it gets hot, that ball actually loses its compression and implodes on you. What I would do if that, you know, a lot of you guys were talking about, why don't you grab a bunch of those and just hit them? Well, I live in San Antonio, Texas. You know, guys, you know, it could be 95 degrees at 8 o'clock in the morning here. So what I do is a lot of the guys up in the Worlds are not hitting it at 95 degrees because of the time of year that they're going to play there at the end of the year. And I know a lot of you other tournaments. So what I want to do is I picked a ball that was comparable to one of the top 4 balls for seniors on 44.375 compression. They did not lose compression when it got hot. And what I did was, because I'm really into the ball thing, I got a ball that's a 44-400 right now. It's a short porch ball, but the 400 was tested at 70 degrees. So if I'm getting at 85, 90 degrees, that compression, it's going to lose compression, right? So it's going to be comparable to what you guys are swinging up north. That was my thought process, right? I don't want to get a ball that's 44.375 and it lose so much compression. I'm not getting performance on a bat, and I'm going to give you something that's not true. So I try to bro science this shit, right? So I kind of look into, I need a 44-400, and I'm getting in that degrees, that 95 degrees. So I need something that's going to drop the degrees on what your balls are swinging, the balls that are swinging up there. So that's basically what I did. It's going, we hit them one time already. It's going good. I'm going to hit them another. Next, it's a Freedom Ball, 44-400s. I do still have my Thunder Advanced that I got in there. And I try to hit the balls in the morning when it's not as hot. And what I do is all those balls are in the bag They were separated the other day, but I got them all in the bag, and I hit now 2 different kind of balls. And I'll let you guys know what I think about it, if I'm gonna stay with them or if I'm gonna go away from them. But it's not really, we hit these bats the other day and it's not doing anything to performance because it was 85, 90 degrees when we got done. So at the end is what I did was at the end I hit them because they were sitting in the sun all that morning from 7 o'clock and 10:30 we started hitting them. So I wanted to do that. Guys, discount codes. Go to my website, www.seniorsoftballbatreviews.com. I have discount codes on Mike and Short Porch and California Bat Company. Onyx is gonna, Carlos, you're watching this, Ryan, you're supposed to send me a discount code for them. I'm gonna have another one for another sporting goods company out there that sells a lot of bats, and I'll let you guys get that. It'll be on my website though, www.seniorsoftballbatreviews.com. And I have those 3 on there. You guys can go in there and look at them if you want to get a price break. Proton, I have a discount code for them too. Let me talk about bats because I'm getting way too into this shit. Let me talk about girls' bats first. Girls, girls are watching this. There are bats. I have a whole list of bats on my website, www.seniorsoftballbatreviews.com. I have a whole list. I think there's 12 of them. What I want to add, and I don't even think these are being made yet. I don't know, but if you can find one, because there's a lot of them on there that's not being made yet. There's another one I want to add to that, okay? And that's this bat. It's Carlos Vega. It's the Cerna Strong, Greg Cerna bat. This is the 2-piece. It has a very soft barrel, guys. Get you one of these. They come in half ounces, I think. I think you might have said they come in whole ounces and half ounces. This is a 25.5, the one we were swinging. It's got a 16.9 on the end and an 8.1 on the hands, guys. This barrel gets soft. It's made to handle that, we were just talking about it, made to handle that hot ball. That ball that is hot and it's laying out there and it gets to like 90 degrees, 95 degrees. That is a great bat because when you're hitting a ball that loses compression, you need a soft barrel with a big end load. That's another little tip there too for you guys. You need a soft barrel. When the balls get hot, lose compression, you need a softer barrel with a big end load if you want to hit distance. Now you guys that are hitting your balance bats, there's a few balance bats, especially the Micans that just came out, the Mike Deal. If those balls get too hot, and I'm talking about the heat, the Mike Deal on your balance guys will be the best bat. Paul Sadler too would be up there too because his barrel actually gets soft too. And that's going to be all in that category on my, what's up? Mike Cuellar, I just saw you. So that's another little, that's going to fall. No, it's not, no, it's not, no, it's not. I wanted to talk about this video on my story time. I want to do story time every week. So let me get through these bats. I don't have a lot. Let me talk about these real fast and get them out of the way. I already did a review on these, but I want to give you guys updates. This is the Big Cat. This is the new 2014 Johnny Bailey. And what Mikan has done, what Mikan has done here is Mikan has developed something that nobody else has. And they developed a soft barrel that actually doesn't lose its elasticity in the barrel, right? It still's got that jump. We just hit this the other day. John, one of my guys, hit this the other day. And guys, I bet it's got 700 swings on it. And you hit it, that barrel just sounds so soft, but you're still getting distance out of it. It's not imploding, you know? You'd have to talk to those guys on what they did. You know, this is something that I've never swung before. With the Masenko, you've got big 3/4 ounce. I'm going to call it 17.2 on the end, 8.5 on the hands. Swings like a sledge. Great performance on this bat. The reason you guys asked me this too, I'm just going to tell you, the reason that the Johnny Bailey actually beat out the Masenko is flex and 12-inch barrel. 12-inch barrel will outperform. If you got, okay, you got 2 of these bats, like I showed them a while ago. I put them away. You got 2 of these bats that are made the same. right? And this one's a 13 inch, this one's a 12 inch. But they're made the same. They have the same barrel. Okay? Same weights, same balance points. The 12 inch will outperform the 13 inch. Trampoline effect on the barrel, right? So you're getting a better trampoline effect on a smaller barrel than you would on a bigger barrel. Somebody was on YouTube the other day and explained it great. And I always thought that a 12-inch barrel got better performance than a 13-inch barrel just because of the response and the whip at the end. You know, you can feel that whip at the end on a 12-inch more than a 13 or a 13.5 inch. Miken has come up with something there, guys, that is very good. And I need to put this one over here. And I don't know what they've done, but they developed a very good bat that nobody else has. That's what I like seeing. You pick up these bats, like when you're in what I'm doing, you pick up these bats that it's just like, okay, that's the same as this one. It's just weighted different, right? It's just weighted different. So this, I'm going to put this one in front of this one because the weight distribution in this one is better than this one. But they have the same body, the same shell. There's a couple of bat manufacturers coming up right now. And I'm not talking about recently when I talk about this. I'm talking about in the past. You know, been doing this for 14 years. So thousands of freaking bats that I've done. I don't know if it's 1,000, it's a lot. But what Miken has done here, there's another bat company that's done too. What Miken has done here is develop something that no one else has. I'm getting way on, too far on Miken's jock there. I need to get off of it. Very good bats though. We have finished the review on this one. I heard the guys talk about it the other day. It's not like what they're saying it's like. And I don't want to get into it if you guys haven't heard them, but they're talking about that California bat right now. And they compared it up to a couple of bats. It's not like that. It's good though. It's good. The barrel's a little harder than what they're trying to compare it against to, but it is a good bat. It's just going to be in that category. And it did make my top 5 on my balance bats because it is a balance bat. It'll be put up, it's not a soft barrel, so it'll be put up in that category on the left-hand side when you're looking at it on my website. Those are ASA bats. Proton. And man, the Axe bat, that review will be out next week. I'm gonna hit it one more time. All the other California bat companies' reviews are done. I just gotta do all the cutting up, putting them out there, and talking about them. Proton. I put out a little video today about me hitting this Proton bat. What's up, Billy? And one piece and a 2-piece. They swing different. I think the sound these make is different than any other bat that I've heard. And I'm good with sounds. A lot of my guys that are bat whores, I'm a bat whore. Well, those bat whores are good with sounds. So they can hear because they've hit so many bats like I have, right? So they can hear that sound. And it's just something that I'm trying to figure out what this one is. But the Protons coming out, the Proton 2s that are coming out, this looks good. I put out teaser videos on it because I want to kind of like make it of what I'm going to put them because they did make, they're, like I told somebody the other day that they're in the finals right now. The 1-piece is in the finals, depending on where I'm going to put it now. So those are good bats. I'm really impressed on the way they swing. Charles Darling, I'm just going to talk about him for a minute here. He has put a lot of work into this bat, and the reason I know is because of the way it feels in my hands. The balance points are spot on. The barrel is different. It's not like I talked about the Miken. This barrel is different than any other barrel out there. You know, and it's not like the regular because of the way it sounds. It doesn't sound like other bats. It doesn't sound like a Miken. Miken has that Miken sound. This Proton has its Proton sound. You have Carlos Vega with the Onyx bats has his different sound that he makes, higher pitch sound on his bat. So, you know, we've kind of got to know that. The 2-piece makes a different sound than a 1-piece. He did something with a 2-piece that I don't think, I can't figure it out yet. I really can't. Performance is great though, but really my guys are trying to figure out which one they like the best on that bat. This one right here, this is that new one. It's called a LJ24. You got these two right here. Performing really good. We haven't broke this one in yet, but we'll let you guys know. We were swinging this one. I sent one of these off to David and Paco up in Georgia, and they were swinging that one. They loved it. And then I got this one in the other day. You can see in the video, I said, that's a brand new bat, and you can see where I hit it. Great out, right when you pull the plastic off of it out of the wrapper, bats are great right here. The two-piece. Guys, I am doing ASA bats. I'm going to start doing them next week. I kind of held back this week because I wanted to get a lot of videos out. I wanted to get some reviews. I got 4 different bats that I done finished the reviews on. We have the Backlash on the ASA. We're going to do ASA bats. It's a two-piece. This is a good bat, guys, on the Backlash. We haven't swung these, but we got these in the other day, and I'm kind of going through them real fast. Hot Butter. This one is from Proton. That's the new ASA bat they have there. I'm going to send 2 of these off to Paco and David that actually do a lot of hitting for me. And what you have here is this is another one of, and they're weighted different too, guys. This one is from Proton. This is an ASA bat. Then you have this one too, and they're weighted different. I guess one's a 1/4 inch, 3/4 inch, and a balanced bat in here too. This 16.3, 8.6 on the hands. On the way this one's loaded, this one's out there. These are all the balanced bats we're gonna start swinging next week. And then this guy right here, this is the new Smith bat. Again, ASA bat that we got in, one piece. I do like the way this bat looks though too. I think it's the same design. Yep, same design as that one, same machine, just different barrel as those senior bats. And we're gonna start swinging these next week. I like that color. The color's badass. It's got a flat end, handles average. They got rid of the small knob. You guys remember me talking about the small knob? They got rid of it. This is that Axe bat I wanted to show you. I didn't get to show it last week, but we're still working on this. You can see it's all tore up, but we're still working on this. You know, I'm gonna give it probably 300 swings more, and then I'll let you guys know what I think about it. I'm done. There's something I want to talk about. It was pretty funny. A lot of you guys asked me, how did you start this? How did you start doing the reviews? And I kind of went through and how I got this started. You know, we would hit, me, Billy, and Bubba. I think at the beginning it was me and Billy. We're hitting out at S.A.R.M.S, and we'd go over to the other field and talk to a lot of the old seniors over there, and they'd have 30 at a time. They don't have as many now, but they have like 30 at a time hitting over there at S.A.R.M.S Park. And they would hit on the smaller fields and just go there and bullshit with everybody. Then we'd go eat breakfast. And the story goes where they had a bat there, and they're asking me how this bat performed. And I was like, well, that's supposed to be a good bat, you know. And then I went out and hit it, and it hadn't broke in. The guy had it for 2 years, and it hadn't broke in. That's started getting me into the video. Well, before this happened, you know, before this, I had a yard. I call it a yard. It was 30 acres in Elmendorf, Texas. It's right outside of 1604. And I owned a trucking company. We hauled cable for AT&T. We also hauled Sears repair products down to South Texas. And I had 30 acres out there when I trap hogs. So we would trap the hogs, and I would take them to Pope, and I would get them processed. And a lot of my drivers would come by and pick up the meat. I'd make pan sausage, and basically all the thing I made was pork chops and pan sausage. So I was doing it for the drivers. Drivers would need food or anything like that. They'd come by and they'd get in there, and they'd take, because I had a big freezer out there, and they'd take all the pan sausage and pork chops for their family, you know, kind of keep everybody. We would eat them too, because I had kids growing up. You know, the kids were young, and they'd eat pork chops. So one day, my brother wants to videotape us going back there and getting these hogs out of the trap. And it was a double guillotine trap. You guys know that's got slides on each side. So he'd go in the middle and hit that little lever, and then boom, it would drop down. It was big, probably 12 feet long. So one day he's got 5 in there. And, he's got 5 in there. And so we make this decision. My brother has his camera. He shows up. It was on a Friday afternoon. He's going to come and eat with us. And he was off work, and he shows up. He's got his camera with him. And I didn't own a camera at this time, but he's got his little VHS camera with him. He sets it up. And I said, well, I have a Polaris, right? So we set it up. He told me, got hogs back there. And I go, okay, let's go get them, you know. And had all my kids there. And my kids are very good at shooting. They have been since they were very young. Hunted with me all my life. And we go out there, and, you know, I have my older son on the end with a shotgun with buckshot in it. So I came up with this idea. We're gonna videotape it, and we're gonna let him out of the trap. We're not gonna go there and bust him inside the trap. We're gonna let him out of the trap and just let him, give him a sporting chance, as who said, Clower, Jerry Crowder used to talk about that. Give him a sporting chance. So I went over there, and I'm opening up the front of the trap, and you guys noticed my Achilles was, I had wearing a boot because my Achilles had just turned. This just ruptured on me. So I had the surgery, and I was out there limping, and I'm picking up this trap door. It's funny as shit. So all of a sudden, here comes the hogs. They're running out, right? So my kids, boom, 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 they start shooting them. And I'm off to the side. There's no danger. My kids can shoot. And they're shooting them. Well, anyway, the big salad, it's hard to get her out, right? So I'm picking at her, prodding her, getting her to get out of there so that you can shoot her. And all these hogs are going to process, and even the younger ones are going, because of the good tasting ones, are going to process. So here comes that big sow. My brother has a 40. Everybody else ran out of bullets. My brother has a 45, and boom, he hit her. Well, she spins, and I'm out there, right? So I'm going to look to see if he hit her. She turns around and chases me, and I'm limping to try to get out of the way. And we're dying laughing, and we're screaming, you know, give me a gun. I'm yelling, give me a gun. My kids, I don't have any bullets. I don't have any bullets. Nobody had bullets. We ran out of bullets trying to shoot this hog. And we just had the camera sitting there. We didn't know it was going to pick up all this. Well, my brother finally gets a bullet, you know, because he's trying to because this hog's chasing us, you know. So he finally, boom, shoots her. And she's laying there. And it wasn't blood splatter. I mean, it wasn't that bad. But it was funny because we ran out of bullets. And she turned around and said, I'm going to kick you guys' ass. And she's coming at us. And I put that up on, I decided to put it up on YouTube. I didn't have this going on. I didn't have none of this. So I decided to put it up on YouTube, right? Big mistake. It went viral. And that was in 2009, I think it was. In 2009, it went viral. Within a month, I had 300,000 views in a month. I had 570 comments, right? I had 100 thumbs up. I had 1,000 thumbs down, you know, but it was viral. It was out there. It was only probably around a 3-minute clip. It had 300,000 views, guys. You know, I have one video that's close to that. One video is close to that, and it's the middle going wrong or something like that, where John Roach hit a guy up the middle, took one off the wrist, you know, and it went flying. That's how you get that viewership, is by putting videos out there that are that shock factor, right? Well, this is one of those shock factors. Well, I had the comments were, it was a bunch of PETA people getting on there and start talking shit to me, right? I had 10 death threats from that video. People come and say they're gonna kill my family, they're gonna do this, they're gonna do that, I'm gonna 10 death threats. And not one of them came true, but I had 10 death. That's how I got started doing this. And my thought process, well, you know, I have my channel now, because if you guys look, it wasn't ever Senior Softball Bat Reviews. It was Apache Outdoors at the beginning was. So my channel, I changed it later on, but became Senior Softball Bat Reviews. But I'm sitting there going, damn, 300,000 views, that's pretty good. But it was that shock factor. So I started putting reviews up there at Senior Softball, and I kind of went over to another platform to do all my hog hunting shit, right? Because I knew the feedback that I was going to get from that, from PETA, or from those people that love hogs. And we have a hog problem in San Antonio, Texas, and we have a hog problem in Texas, where it's getting bad, guys. We don't have enough hunters out there to kill all these hogs. And I was actually feeding people with these hogs, so people didn't understand that, you know. And I didn't explain to them. I thought they just knew that. In Texas, we hunt for our shit, and I have for all my life. Since I was 9 years old, I hunt for my food. I don't go to HEB and get my food from there. A lot of my meat's from there. I actually butcher a cow every year, and I think it's great food. You don't get all that extra added shit into it, you know, and the meat that we eat is very lean. So, but they don't know that. They don't know that I feed my family, and I fed other families with that food. So 10 death threats, guys, bad ones. Like, I'm gonna hunt you. I know where you live. And they told me where I lived, and they'll come after me. I'm like, ain't nothing I can do about that. Didn't even call the cops, but it never happened. It never happened. Guys, that was I'm gonna try to put those up, my little story time videos at the end on how I got started, little things that I've experienced in the past. And we'll talk about that, guys. Hey, don't be a dick to each other. Be safe. I'll see you guys out in Vegas. If you're there, come by and say hi. I'm going to be doing a lot of walk around. Wife's going to be at the pool drinking margaritas. I'll kind of run off and start doing my shit. And then I'll try to be at the manager's meeting too when I'm there. But I'll be at the big ballparks. Come by and say hi. Thanks, guys. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed that video. I got a couple more here that I want you to take a look at. And if you haven't already, hit that like and subscribe button right down here below. And I also have a membership channel. It's that little join button that you have right down here. Click on it, and it actually has a small video in there that explains everything in the membership. Plus, it actually helps support what we do. Thanks, guys.